Hello folks, it's me again, Amanda Enderman, your trusty tour guide in the wonders of the wonderful city, also known as Rio de Janeiro. Remember that on the video that I spoke about the abolition of slavery in Brazil, that glorious moment in which all of the citizens of Brazil, no matter their skin color, started actually being citizens, free citizens at that, and with all the rights that citizens are supposed to have. In that video, I mentioned a lot of famous abolitionists who were responsible for making this a reality. So on this video, I'm gonna speak in detail about some of them. Before I get right onto the theme of the video, I have to remind you that I'm currently offering walking tours through the city of Rio, and all of them are described on my website, which the link will be in the description box below, as well as in the first week's comment. So all you have to do is click there, text me via WhatsApp, that's very important, make your reservations, and let's get to know the city of Rio in person, folks! With me, Amanda Enderman, your trusty tour guide, of course. Now, without further ado, let's get right on to the theme of the video. Our very first abolitionist that we're going to talk about today is none other than Joaquim Nabuco. He was actually born in Recife, in the state of Pernambuco, that's in the northeast of Brazil, son of the senator José Tomás Nabuco de Araújo and of Ana Benigna Barreto Nabuco de Araújo. He studied humanities in the Dom Pedro II School with an emphasis in what is called letters. Nowadays, this is a college degree, usually for people who want to teach Portuguese and one other foreign language. But back then, you did that in high school, as the only college degrees which were available were medicine, law, and engineering. In 1865, he went to São Paulo, where he took the first 3 years of law school. Then he came back to Recife, where he finished law school. So he actually was a law school graduate, as well as a graduate in letters. He was elected representative of his state, or province, I should say, because remember, back then they were called provinces, not states, just yet. And he moved to Rio. Only logical, since remember once again that Rio was the capital of the Empire of Brazil at this time. His entrance to the House of Representatives marked the beginning of the campaign in favor of abolitionism, which soon became a national cause. Our next great abolitionist that we're going to talk about is André Rebouças. The first black engineer, along with his brother Antônio Rebouças, to graduate in the military school. He was born in Cachoeira, in Bahia, son of the lawyer Antônio Pereira Rebouças and of Carolina Pinto Rebouças. Remember also that in several past videos I mentioned the architect Valentim da Fonseca. It can safely be said that André Rebouças was in fact his successor in many ways, because in October 1866, the Minister of Finance, Zacarias de Góes, nominated him engineer of the customs in Rio, and he was entrusted with the building of the harbor of Rio. Remember when I spoke about the Dom Pedro II warehouse in the video about the abolition? He also built that. Not only that, he also built a network of transport of drinking water to the city of Rio, just as Valentim da Fonseca had done before. About the abolitionist movement, he participated, yes, but he was more behind the scenes. He wasn't so much in the spotlight. He administered the funds, he organized the actual protests, and he helped organize several of the abolitionist societies. Moving on, our next great abolitionist is José do Patrocínio. He was born in Campos, this is in the state of Rio, son of the clergyman João Carlos Monteiro and of the slave Justina Maria. In 1868, with the help of the teacher João Pedro de Aquino, he started studying medicine as a pharmacy major, graduated in 1874, and in order to make ends meet, he started teaching. His participation in the campaigns against slavery started in 1871 with a poem published in the newspaper The Republic. And in 1879, get this, he married his student Maria Henriqueta, and with the help of his father-in-law, he bought the press called the Gazeta da Tarde. Furthermore, in 1880, he occupied the stage of the São Luís Theater to attack slavery, and finally, in 1883, gathered with representatives of the abolitionist societies which were active in Rio and in Niterói. He proposed the creation of an abolitionist federation. Our next great abolitionist is Luiz Gama. His is a story which I believe would generate trauma in many people. He was born in Salvador, in Bahia, son of a rich man of Portuguese origin, which he never mentioned his name. Pretty soon you'll see why. And a freed slave named Luísa Marim, which, according to him, participated in the revolt of the Malays and in the Sabinada revolt as well. Remember, I spoke already about these two revolts in previous video. Because of this, she had to run away to Rio and left him in the care of his father. Up until then, okay, normal, reasonably. Only his father, when he was 10 years old, took him to Rio with him and sold him, yes, as a slave to the alferes Antônio Pereira Cardoso in order to pay for a gambling debt. Remember in the video Enslaving in Rio, which I spoke about enslavement because of debt? This is a prime example of it. When he turned 18, knowing that his situation as a slave was illegal because his mother was freed, he ran away to São Paulo and was able to get his freedom in court. And get this, my friends, he did all of this without a law school degree. And not only that, he later spent his whole life helping slaves to acquire their freedoms in the court of law. There was actually a name for his profession, or his calling, I guess would be a better term, which was Rábula. Rábula was the name for anyone who acted in the court of law defending people but did not have a law school degree. In certain legal procedures, this was allowed, but for certain cases, it wasn't allowed. Nowadays, in Brazil, this would be someone who has a law school degree but hasn't passed the bar or doesn't have the license to actually practice law. Nowadays, someone like that, myself included, is not allowed to practice any law. We have to always have an actual licensed lawyer with us. Leave it in the comment section below if there is a term for this in your countries and how does this work in your countries. I would love to know. But as you can see, no shame in that. Without a law school degree, he was able to help a lot of slaves acquire their freedoms. Our last but definitely not least abolitionist is Castro Alves himself. Remember the poem by him that I read in the beginning of the video about the abolition? He was known as the poet of the slave. Poetry really was his calling. So he was born in the village of Curralinho in Bahia, son of Antônio José Alves, which was a doctor and also a teacher, and of Clélia Brasília da Silva Castro. At 13 years old, get this, he already had a gift for poetry and he recited his very first poetry in a party at his school. Furthermore, in May 17th, 1863, he published in the newspaper The Spring his very first poem about slavery. This is it for this video about some of the great names of the abolition in Brazil. I hope you liked the video, and if you did like the video, be sure to hit that like button, then hit that subscribe button, but most importantly, share this video with as many people as you possibly can so that each time more people may know about the wonders of the wonderful city. And as usual in this channel, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!